Karen fined me over door color, so I painted her house in the same color, just brighter. The quiet hum of Willow Creek was shattered the day Karen Thompson, the neighborhood's self-appointed guardian of aesthetics, slapped a $500 fine on my mailbox. My crime? Painting my front door a cheerful coral shade that, in her words, violated the HOA's harmony. I stood on my porch, the fine trembling in my hands, as Karen's smug smile gleamed under the midday sun. Her pristine beige house across the street mocked me, its neutral tones a testament to her iron grip on the community's palate. I wasn't just angry, I was livid. This wasn't about a door. It was about control. I'm Mia, a 28-year-old graphic designer who moved to Willow Creek for a fresh start after a messy divorce. My coral door was my rebellion, a splash of joy in a life that had felt gray. But Karen, with her clipboard and her HOA rulebook, saw it as a personal affront. "Conform or pay," she'd said, her voice dripping with superiority. The neighbors watched from their windows, silent, complicit. I paid the fine. What choice did I have? But as I handed over the check, a spark ignited. Karen wanted harmony? I'd give her harmony, my way. That night, under the cover of darkness, I hatched a plan. I drove to the hardware store, bought gallons of coral paint, a shade just brighter than my door, and enlisted my friend Jake, a contractor with a mischievous streak. We crept to Karen's house at 2 a.m., rollers and brushes in hand. The thrill of defiance pulsed through me as we coated her beige fortress in blazing coral, the color glowing under the moonlight. By dawn, her house was a beacon, a louder, bolder version of my door. I stood back, heart racing, admiring our work. Let her try to find me now. The next morning, chaos erupted. Karen's scream echoed down the street as she discovered her neon-colored house. Neighbors gathered, whispering, some stifling laughter. I watched from my porch, sipping coffee, feigning innocence. Karen stormed over, her face as red as the paint. "You'll pay for this, Mia," she shrieked, jabbing a finger at me. "You think you can mock me?" I shrugged, my voice calm but sharp. "I thought you loved coral. It's just brighter." The crowd murmured, torn between shock and amusement. But Karen wasn't done. She called an emergency HOA meeting, demanding my eviction. The community center buzzed with tension as neighbors debated. Some, like Mrs. Larson, sided with Karen, citing property values. Others, younger families mostly, rallied behind me, tired of Karen's tyranny. The room crackled with arguments, voices overlapping. Then, a twist. Old Mr. Callahan, the quiet widower next door, stood up. He'd lived in Willow Creek for 40 years, and no one expected him to speak. His voice was soft but commanding. "Karen fined me $200 for my rose bushes in '98. Said they were too wild. I paid and replanted. You know why? She threatened to sue my daughter's bakery out of business." Gasps rippled through the room. Karen's face paled. Mr. Callahan's revelation wasn't just a story, it was a crack in her armor, exposing her as a bully who'd weaponized her power for decades. The meeting turned. Neighbors shared their own Karen stories. Fines for kids' chalk drawings, complaints about noisy barbecues. My coral stunt, once divisive, became a symbol of rebellion. But Karen fought back, producing a lawyer who claimed my paint job was vandalism, demanding $10,000 in damages. The room fell silent. My stomach dropped. Had I gone too far? Jake squeezed my shoulder, whispering, "We'll fight this." But doubt crept in. I'd wanted justice, not a lawsuit. Days later, the neighborhood was a war zone of whispers and glares. Then came the second twist. An anonymous donor paid Karen's $10,000 claim, but with a catch: the money came with a public apology from her, admitting her overreach. The note, posted on the community board, was in Mr. Callahan's shaky handwriting. He'd sold a vintage car, his last memento of his late wife, to fund it. "For peace," he told me later, his eyes misty, "and to remind us all kindness outlasts control." Karen left Willow Creek a month later, her house still coral, unsold. My door stayed coral too, but the victory felt hollow. Mr. Callahan's sacrifice humbled me, and the neighborhood, once divided, began to heal. We planted a community garden in his honor, coral flowers blooming at its heart. But the cost lingered me. Defiance had sparked change. But at what price? Karen's reign ended, yet the bitterness of her departure and Mr. Callahan's loss left a scar. Was my rebellion worth it, or did it fuel a cycle of vengeance? Share your thoughts. Where does justice end and chaos begin?